Wow, that's a deep question. Really, for us, we're doing great. This is probably the healthiest and the strongest. Not only I've been personally, but the band's been in 10 years. We, take very good care of ourselves, and we're at the top of our game, which is a lot of fun for us. So that's where the adrenaline for me comes from. Is just getting up there and playing on that stage. I mean, I'm a lucky guy. I've been for 10 years a professional musician, which kids would kill for, and I know I would have when I was a younger kid. So that's what keeps us going, is making sure that we can keep doing this and keep the crowds coming back and show them that it can be done still these days as a rock band, which isn't the easiest thing for any of us, really. And if I had another 10 lives, I'd still be doing the same thing, just burning the candle at both ends. We work hard, we play hard, and we have a good time. So for me, this is my ninth, 10th life, just being able to do this. I'm the old soul in the band. I'm the grandpa. I'm the one that takes care of everybody and worries about everybody, and I think people see that about me. I'm extremely laid back. It takes a lot to anger me or to upset me. I really have no temper at all until I do snap, which has happened a few times in my life, and then it's ugly. But yeah, I'm the old soul that just really tries to be positive and keep everybody happy. We're all characters, that's for sure. We're very different from each other, which probably makes it work. Like I said before, I'm very laid back and pretty much dry in the way I speak and in my sense of humor, whereas Zach's hilarious. He's like a little clown most of the time and always can quote the movies and all that type of stuff. He's very driven and passionate, but he has a short temper, a really short temper, and he gets in his own head quite easily. You know, he can anger himself very quickly, but he's a musical genius. He's so much fun to be around. And Brent's Brent. There's only one like him. He's Brent, and he's extremely focused and extremely driven person, and always has been, almost to the point where he gets blinders and he doesn't see anything else. He doesn't see the forest for the trees, and I think that's why I balance him out so well over the years, because I go, man, calm down, let's just look at this a different way. But he gets it done. He's always been right. After all these years, even there's a decision I think is wrong for the band, ends up he had the right vision, and that's why we've been so successful. It's because of his vision. Absolutely. I think everybody has their fears and things they're afraid of. For me, The Exorcist still scares the crap out of me. That movie is horrible, but I love it. I'm afraid of roaches. Roaches scare me, and I know they can't hurt you. I just find them to be a gross thing. I can handle spiders, anything else, snakes, gators, whatever else. I mean, growing up in Florida, there's a lot of wildlife and a lot of things that could hurt you out there, but roaches are just, they make my skin crawl, so I'm scared to death of them. I don't know if I've learned what I've learned yet. Every time you go through an album, you learn something. Sound of Madness, I learned patience. It's really, you don't figure out what happened until you finish the album cycle, and then you go, oh, this is what happened over my last 3 years, because everything is such a blur, and it's day in, day out, every day. It becomes almost like Groundhog's Day, every single day. So you don't really realize what you learn till the end. I think in the making of the record, I learned who my true friends were in the making of the record, and how close we really are as a band, because we've been through a lot of things together, and especially Brett and myself being, the original members, we've been through a lot together. Seeing him get clean and sober this year has probably been the best thing in my life and the best gift in my life, because I truly care for him. I spend more time with him than I do my wife, so we're practically a married couple, and I truly love the guy, and to seeing him destroy himself over the past 9-10 years, and to see him the way he is now, happy and healthy, and we work out together every day, it's probably the best thing in the world. Yeah, we were playing a show in Boston, and Joey and Brad from Aerosmith came to see us, and we didn't know. and it was in this House of Blues club, and up in the left is like a VIP balcony where you can watch the show. I'm playing, we play the first song, and my tech looks over at me and he goes, "Look up." I look up and I see some of my idols, two of the guys from Aerosmith, watching the show, and I freaked. I played such a horrible show because I was so nervous, so that was surprising. It was cool. No, but they live there, so they can just walk in any time and catch a show. I mean, everybody knows who they are, so they weren't even on the guest list. We didn't have any clue. I couldn't even talk to them after the show. I don't get starstruck much, but that's one of the ones. That was one of my first concerts I ever went to was Aerosmith on the Pump tour, so yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm in a band of many, many chances. Just deciding to be in a rock and roll band is a big chance. And sticking through it this long and spending all of your money to make it happen and going broke and taking out loans and everything else, we've done it all. So I think being in Shinedown is the biggest chance I've ever taken. And so far it's worked, but it's been a lot of hard work. You know, it's funny. We're not a very political driven band or a band that really drives for causes that often, though we each on our own have our own personal things that we support. When it comes to us and the writing of the songs, we write what we're feeling at the time. We don't ever go out on a mission and go, we have to do this on the next record, or we have to do this on the next record, or on the next song for whatever it is. It's what are you feeling right now? And that's how the Bully song kind of came about, was we were just, that was a hot topic on the news and magazines, and that's all you saw every single day were stories about bullying and everything else. And it was like, all right, we got to write something. And each one of us in our own ways been bullied or witnessed bullying. I know Brent was bullied pretty bad when he was a kid. I've had my bullies too. I mean, we were little guys and we were band nerds, you know, so you get beat up quite easily. And you learn to overcome it. So I think for us, that's definitely a cause we're going to stick with, even though it accidentally happened. But the song has really brought a lot of attention to it, and I think we'll probably get behind that a little bit more in the future. But yeah, we never intentionally go for a cause necessarily. Probably I'll Follow You. Just because it reminds me of my wife and my kid at home and everything else. So that's probably the one that has touched me the most on this record. I definitely have changed since I was a kid. I think when you're a kid, it's innocence, and you hear new things for the first time, and you don't know much about it. You know, before I even started playing drums, I would steal my dad's headphones because my mom doesn't really like loud things in the house. She's just doesn't like it, hurts her ears. She's got an ear problem. But so we always listen on headphones, and I'd pick up his headphones and listen to whatever he was listening at the time, which could have been Allman Brothers or John Fogerty or something like that. And I was always attracted to the drums. It's always been a rhythm section for me. When I listen to music, the guys make fun of me because I mean, it's fun for you to read this to me because I don't know half the lyrics of our songs because I just don't hear music that way. I hear drums and bass, and then everything else is secondary. All my favorite bands from, you know, throughout time, I don't know the lyrics. I just know that I like the songs. That's just the way I listen. So for me, it's always been the drums, and that's probably why I don't play a melodic instrument, because I don't hear things that way. I hear rhythms and everything. I can't sleep at night to some of those machines that make like noises and stuff, like the ocean noises or whatever. I can't sleep to that because I actually can hear in there when it repeats, and then I can find the rhythm of it, and then I pay attention to it. So I can't sleep to those things. It's miserable for me. So yeah, it's definitely been the drums, and just I think now that I'm older, I know more about music, and that makes it harder to listen to new music. I'd have my favorites from growing up, but new music I don't get into as much as I used to, and it's kind of, it sucks, but I know too much. I'm listening to what was the production on this, and how did they record this, and all these different things, instead of just sitting back and going, you know what, enjoy the song. And that's probably what's changed the most over the years. humbling when somebody tells you you're their hero, especially when they don't really know you, they just know you through your music. For me, what makes a hero is a strong person, strong-willed person. My personal hero is my father. I've always looked up to him, and he's really my hero, just for being the man that he is and providing for us and taking care of us and always being a stand-up guy. I think a hero is definitely based on a personal basis, whether you save millions of lives from a fire or you just are a good person throughout your life. Either way, you can be a hero, and that's why I look up to him. We don't really have any rules aside from respect everybody and treat everybody equal. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and I think that's the biggest thing that you can do to survive, because even starting out, Three Doors Down was one of the first major tours that we did years ago, and they taught us a lot because they were all humble guys, but they were nice to everybody. Even the opening band, they taught us, even when we screwed up, and we screwed up big many times because it was our first major tour, you know, whether it's going to catering and eating all the food before the headlining band gets in there, or as simple as doing something, you know, one of our guys smoking a cigarette on stage and they've got pyro. It could hurt somebody. Instead of getting mad at us, they taught us. And I think that's one of the biggest things for the bands out there, is to really show respect to everybody. You're not a rock star. That hour you're on stage, or that 30 minutes you're on stage, then you're a rock star. The rest of the time you're just a human being and treat everybody equally, even down to local crew. Every night I go through and shake security's hand and say thank you for doing your job, because they keep us safe, and that's important. And same with, you know, you guys doing interviews. You took the time out of your day to come talk to us. I'm going to give you everything I can and tell you thank you, because it's important to us. You know, you don't have to do that, and we don't have to do this, but we need to do this. We need this more than anybody. So really just be humble and treat people equal, because you never know where you're going to be. We're on top now, but we could be opening up for somebody somewhere else. You never know. Absolutely, he does. I can answer that for him. He does. He takes all of the weight of the whole band and crew on his shoulders on a daily basis because he cares. But all of us, he's the type of guy that give you the shirt off his back if you asked, you know, and he gives to where it breaks him down. So he's definitely got huge weights on his shoulder, and it only gets harder the more we go and the bigger we get. So, you know, he worries about our families and you know, when we take time off, how's everybody going to be taken care of and things like that. So he definitely is, he worries in that way. Oh yeah, it's tough out here. I carry the concerns of everybody on my shoulders because I'm the one that Brent talks to everybody, but I hang out with everybody, and I know what's going on with the crew, and I know what's going on with my bandmates and everybody else. We have a pretty large crew. We travel very heavily and hard, so I'm always the one worrying about people's headspace and where they're at, and are you okay, and is there anything I can do for you, things like that. It's a lot of pressure out here. I'm number 2 in the band. You know, I'm the vice president of this whole thing, and I'm the more social one because Brent doesn't talk a lot during the days to save his voice for the show, you know, and he hides. And if he is talking, he's on the phone with management and the label, and that's what he deals with. I deal with the inner crew problems. That's my thing. And it gets tough. It gets tough sometimes. It's not. This life is not made for everybody. It's not nearly as easy as you think it is, and it's not what you see on TV. It's a hard life, and a great life. It's a wonderful life, but it's not for everybody. Happiness. We want people to be positive. We want them to take a rock show and enjoy it. You know, a lot of our songs can get dark at sometimes, but they're all about overcoming and being a good person and trying to rise above. And that's what we want people to take away, and I think a lot of people do. That's why our audiences, when we look out there, you see 8 to 80 years old. You see it just a wide aspect of people because they all feel these songs and feel something different because we write from the heart. So just be happy. It's too easy to be happy, and it's horrible to not be happy, and it's too hard to stay that way. So that's all we want.